My name's Brad Woodard and welcome back to another episode of Brave Kids Art Club. For my American friends out there, we're about to celebrate a very special holiday coming up in a few days called Independence Day, otherwise known as 4th of July. It's called Independence Day because it's the day that our founding fathers of this country signed the Declaration of Independence, basically saying we are no longer under the rule of Great Britain and their king. That's when we stopped being a bunch of different colonies and became one big country. That's a pretty huge moment in American history. Now, do you know what year that happened? 1776. That's an important year to remember. So to celebrate, I thought we would draw some fireworks. I love watching fireworks any time of the year, but they're extra special on the 4th of July. So let's go ahead and start drawing. All you're gonna need is a clean sheet of paper, a nice sharp pencil, an eraser, a dark marker or a pen, and of course, something to color with. All right, so I told you we're gonna be drawing a firework today, but I didn't tell you which kind. I was thinking it'd be fun to draw one that looks kind of like a bottle rocket. Those are the kinds that have the little cone on the top that looks just like a rocket, and then it's got the body, and then it has a little stick on the side of it that you can stick inside the whole thing inside of like a bottle and watch it shoot off. So I was thinking for our composition, I know that's a big word, but it's basically where's all the pieces of what we're gonna be drawing, where are they gonna live on our page? So if we have a rocket here, we have a little trail of flames that are kind of going back here, and maybe we'll have some like fireworks filling in the gaps in the background. Be kind of cool. So that's our composition. That's my idea anyways. But before we start drawing really quickly, I wanted to give you a quick little lesson on drawing in 3 dimensions. So 3D drawing, meaning we want to see it to make it look a little bit more real. And if you're looking at for this toilet paper roll, for example, if I was to hold it up here and I hold it flat, it just looks like a regular rectangle. It's flat on the top, flat on the bottom. The only way we can know is because of these little shadows on the side and the highlight in the middle is how we know. So we can do that. We can draw that if we wanted to. But another way to do it, so if it was over here, you know, it just looks flat, but maybe we want the rocket to look like it's going off into space, or we can angle it like this, and now this rectangle becomes a cylinder. And that's what that is right here. This is a cylinder shape. So that's gonna be the body of our rocket. We're gonna probably tilt it this direction. So you'll notice now the bottom is rounded. It's not flat, it's rounded. So we're gonna do that on our drawing here. So just so you're aware, if you need something as a guide, you kind of hold it out in front of you and tilt it and you can see what it's gonna look like. On that note, let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna do let's do the cone first on the top of the rocket. So I'm gonna start by doing like a triangle shape, or an upside down V, I should say, right here, like this, line right there. And then, remember, we're not gonna have a straight line because when we angled it, we noticed that it's gonna be rounded. Those straight lines are now rounded. So I was just gonna go like this and just do a little curve to connect these. And it's okay if it's kind of messy. Again, we're gonna be drawing with a pencil because we're gonna erase this stuff later. We're just kind of creating our guide here. All right, so we got that. Now let's go ahead and create the body of the rocket, which is the easy part. That's the cylinder, like that. So we're gonna take it and I'm gonna have it kind of look like it gets a little smaller at the bottom just so it looks like it's coming towards you a bit, but you don't have to do that. I just wanted to kind of make it look a little bit more realistic that way. So I'm gonna go draw a straight line back here, and then I'm gonna draw another line back here, and I'm gonna taper them in. That means they go in towards each other a little bit. Yeah, that looks about right. And then again, it's not gonna be a flat line. We're gonna go and just curve this at the bottom, round that off so that it looks like it's a cylinder. All right, so we got the first part of it. Pretty simple. Next part, we're gonna go ahead and add the flame. And I thought this would be kind of cool to add a little trail to kind of show where it's been instead of just doing one little flame. So let's start by first, really lightly, let's draw kind of this little rounded off shape here, rounded off shape here. And then I'm gonna have it kind of taper in like this. And let's draw over here. Let's draw like where it's gonna come from. So it's gonna kind of whip around, and that's where it's gonna come from, over here. So once I've done that, then I can kind of follow it and go from really thin and go to thicker. So kind of like a tail. I'm gonna have it go right here. And don't worry about if it's not perfect. This is gonna be just our guide. So we kind of gonna go like this, and then make those match up a little bit. Oh, see, that looks good. Okay, so now it looks like it came from over here. It's gonna blow up there. So now when we have that there, that means we can now draw over it and we can draw our flame. So I kind of go over there and then I come back and I draw a little curve and I come straight back, draw another curve and come back. And that's how I'm going to draw the little rocket flames shooting out the back. And then once I get over here, you can kind of curve it some more. And then I kind of stop doing it after about here. And then I'm just going to make it kind of squiggly to make it look like it's going off when it's further away, it's going to have less detail. So let's just pretend it's further away and we don't have to worry about all these little flames. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, kind of going back like that. And then again, it's going to be kind of squiggly all the way back to the end. And maybe I want to make that a little smaller. I can even kind of start further in and erase some of this. I might do that. But really, once we get to we'll do like a dark marker or something like that, and you can kind of pick your final lines. All right, but it's coming together. Okay, so it's launching off. Let's do another little set in here. Let's do the flames, because if you know flames, they kind of have different colors as they get towards the center, or from the center out, it's a different color. So to make it look more flame-like, let's add a few more of those on the inside. Like that. There we go. Same thing over here. Maybe one more. There we go. One more? Yeah, I think we should do one more. Let's do one more on the inside. It's hard not to make sound effects when you're drawing. Woo, look how cool that is. Now this doesn't have to be, this is how I draw my flames. You might draw your flames really cool and wavy and you do whatever you want, or you might do them more straight, jagged lines. Whatever way you do it is awesome. So do that. But this, if you want to follow along, this is what I'm doing. Alrighty, so now, let's see, what's the next part? Oh, let's draw a pattern or a design after we draw, maybe the cap. I'm just gonna make a little cap on here just to show where it goes on there. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna draw, remember I have to keep curving it because the whole thing is rounded off. And then maybe I'll do a pattern. You can do whatever design. Maybe you want to do stars. Maybe you want to do some little polka dots or something like that. I'm going to do some lines here. And I'll make sure don't do anything straight. If you already do the round off the bottoms, then everything's got to be curved because it's going to be curving around that surface. So for example, if I was to draw a line, a straight line, all the way across this thing, this tube, when I draw it, it's going to start to curve a little bit. It's going to curve around the side. You'll see how it's kind of rounded off like this. So if I leave it flat, but as soon as I angle it like we have it, it's going to curve. So that's what you want to draw. So when I draw my stripes, I want to make sure that they curve. So for example, like this, like that, maybe like that, maybe like this. And then my last one right there. All right, so there's our rocket. That was pretty quick, huh? That was real easy. So what I think we're gonna do is let's quickly outline that, and then we're gonna talk about colors. And when we add the colors, we're gonna be adding some fireworks in the background to fill in and finish our composition here. All right, so I'm gonna be using a permanent marker, and if you are too, make sure your parents know, for one, but for two, make sure you have a piece of paper underneath so that it doesn't bleed through, because it will. It'll bleed through your paper and get on whatever's underneath it, and it does not come off because it's a permanent marker. So go through, and now you have all your lines that you liked. We're gonna go through and clean them up by adding a really simple line and clean up the whole drawing, and then we can erase all the sketch underneath it. Do you know who does epic fireworks? Disneyland. They do crazy big fireworks every single night. I used to live in California, and every single night out my window of my apartment, I could see the giant, amazing fireworks coming out of Disneyland. And yes, you did hear me right, they shoot them off every single night. And that's why Disney shoots off more fireworks than anybody else in the entire world. Now the next step, you just need to go through, get a big eraser. I got this big goofy looking one. And then just erase all of that under sketch. You want to get all the sketch out from under there so it looks all nice and clean. All right, so what do you think? It's looking pretty cool, huh? Looks like a coloring book ready to be colored, which is what we're gonna be doing. So let's go ahead and get our markers or crayons or whatever you wanna use to color it in. And let's color in the rocket first, and then we'll talk about how we're gonna do some fireworks all around here. It's gonna be really fun. So I'm gonna start with, let's start with the red. I'm gonna start with red right here and start coloring in my little stripes here. And then I'm gonna go through and I'm probably just gonna stick with mostly red, white, and blue, and then maybe some yellow. And but yeah, let me color this in, and then we'll catch up afterwards. Which color fireworks are the hardest to produce? Red, green, blue, or purple? The correct answer is blue. All right. Okay, so our rockets colored in, we got our flames colored in. I was thinking though, maybe we can add some like little shadows on here to make it look even more dimensional like we talked about. We looked at this little cylinder, which is a little toilet paper roll, and we noticed that it's darker on the sides and then lighter on the front, right there on the top. So I was thinking we might do something similar to that. I'm gonna take a lighter color and I'm just gonna kind of do a line going from the bottom right over top of here, kind of like that. And then on the side here, I'm going to do another one. Kind of goes near the edge on this side. There you go. Gives it a little bit of dimension. Makes it look a little rounded off. And then I got to do the same thing up here on the cone. So maybe I'll add like a little shadow here anyways. And then I'll kind of follow this up right here. Maybe go like that. And then we'll go something like this. Like that. Maybe a little bit bigger on this end. So now it's starting to look a little more cone-like. You could ask, I guess you could always add another one up here, or whatever you want to do. You can kind of mess around with it yourself. But now that it looks a little more dimensional and we're getting really excited, now we composed it so that it looks kind of cool shooting off, and we could stop right here. But I was thinking we could get a little more creative and we could fill in with some other exploding fireworks. How cool would that be? Okay, so I'm just gonna take the colors I already have. I'm gonna use these my primary colors, my yellow, red, and blue, and then I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna start making little fireworks. So let me show you a fun way. I got a few different ways, but you can get as creative as you want out here. But I'll show you what I like to do. So I'm gonna start with maybe, if we want an explosion right here, let's have a big one exploding right here. I'm gonna start by drawing a little circle in the middle. That's gonna be the center of the explosion. And then maybe I'm gonna go ahead and get my markers ready over here. Let's do this. Let's get these ready to go. And then what I'm gonna do is maybe I'll add some red little bursts coming out, kind of like a little sun. Like that. And then I'll keep alternating. I'll go switch back and forth. And then maybe this time I'll do some dots. It's pretty fun, huh? You can kind of build your own fireworks. Then I was thinking it might be kind of cool to kind of have them look like little splashes. So you kind of go up and then I push harder at the top and I go all the way around and have them kind of shoot off. So it starts off kind of thin and then I have them kind of shooting off a little bit, get a little bit thicker as they get further up. Kind of like that. And then they go thinner. You can clean them up a little bit at the bottom. Kind of go in like that. Let's do some more. Look at this. Look how fun this is. We'll have them exploding into the sky. Another one right there. And then I was thinking, well, we can do another one right here. And then I was trying to show where the little trail was going to be. So maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of show it kind of shooting off. Kind of like this. There we go. So it looks like it's going shooting off into the sky. And then I'll go through and maybe, you know what? I'm going to do some more red. So then I'm going to add little ones in between here. Look how fun that is. Just like that. And so we're going to go through after this one. we're gonna go through and we're gonna add a few different ones all throughout to kind of fill in the space. So let's do one more together and then I'll just start filling it in and you can do it however you want and then we'll catch up right afterwards. So I'd say we do another one right down here. Let's do one more bigger one down here. Let's start with maybe the red in the center. I'm gonna do that. Let's start with the red in the center. And then let's do some, let's do some yellow. I'm gonna do circles now this time. Circles, circles, circles. And then maybe some, let's just go straight for some little dotted lines. We'll kind of do this similar to what we did earlier, but we can make them, we can make them look a little different if we want. We can kind of go like, make them look big on the end like that and then kind of go some dots in there. It's whatever you want. It's kind of fun just to be super creative and just make them look however you'd like them to look. There's no real wrong way to make exploding fireworks. Ooh, that one looked a little different. Go off to the side, boop, 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 really quick. There we are. And then maybe we just have the trail. Maybe the trail will be this color. We'll do the trail this color. And it's shooting off underneath there. Maybe we'll add some more. Let's do some straight lines in here. Boom. Whoa, this is looking so cool. Okay, well, I will continue to start filling in. Maybe you want to draw the same type of fireworks. Maybe you want to draw different ones. I might put some stars in there and some little bursts everywhere just to fill it in. But you go do yours and I'll finish mine and then we'll catch up at the very end. Can you believe fireworks were invented in China thousands of years ago? Not just hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. We've had fireworks for a very, very long time, but back then they looked a whole lot different than they do now. Once gunpowder was invented, also in China, someone decided that they would take a hollowed out bamboo stick and fill it with gunpowder and light it. And you got a big old boom, and that was the very, very first kind of firework. All right, what do we think? Does that look full enough? It looks like a big, huge explosion happening all around our firework. I think that's pretty full. I don't know if I can put any more dots in there, but I'm super happy with how it turned out. How did yours turn out? Awesome. Well, I hope you're proud of it. This was a whole lot of fun. This is, you got to do all sorts of different types of things. We got to do a little bit of exploding fireworks. We got our main fireworks shooting off here. But before we finish this, it's not quite finished until we do what? That's right, we need to sign our artwork to show that we're proud of it and that it's ours. So I'm gonna go through and add my name, or let's do my name right down here. I'm gonna do my initials, your name. And now it is officially finished. Well, thank you guys so much for drawing this really fun fireworks scene with me. I hope y'all have an enjoyable, safe 4th of July with your families. Just do me a favor and remember, never shoot fireworks off by yourself. Always do those with an adult. I know firsthand how unpredictable some of those fireworks can be. So I want y'all to be safe. And as always, be brave, be creative, but most importantly, be you. I'll see you next time.